Hey, I'm Fight the Flat Earth, and welcome back to the channel that does to stupidity what Thor did to Thanos near the beginning of Endgame. What, guys, if you haven't seen it by now, that's on you. The next Spider-Man's nearly out. Today we're going to look at a Flat Earther that kind of confuses me, because alongside Ranty Flat Earth, he provides more evidence for a globe than anything else. But I guess that's the thing, isn't it? No matter how much evidence you give a Flat Earther, or how much evidence they dig up themselves, they seem incapable of admitting that they've been wrong. This Flat Earther, well, he believes in gravity. He proved that the Earth spins on its axis. He can explain the function of an accelerometer, but still somehow says the Earth is flat. I weep for humanity. This is episode 24 of Flerfs are Idiots, and is for Bob Super Noodle Doodle.
We're living on a disc, floating through space, with a tiny sun.
So, Bob Super Noodle Doodle, leader of FE Core, and probably the most hated man in the YouTube Flat Earth community. Because he and his group of researchers publicly proved the Earth spins. Let's have a listen to what he said.
If the Earth is spinning at one rotation every 24 hours, that means that every hour it has to turn 15 degrees. And if the gyroscope is mounted anywhere on Earth, it's going to drift. In today's 21st century navigation systems, they're using what's called a ring laser gyroscope. It is extremely precise. If we could simply get one of these ring laser gyroscopes, we would be able to prove once and for all that there is no rotation to the Earth. One of the people in the community actually purchased one for $20,000. But what we found is when we turned on that gyroscope, we found that we were picking up a drift, a 15 degree per hour drift.
Can you imagine what the other Flat Earthers must have thought after that? They must have been so mad at Bob. I wonder what that might have sounded like. Oh, something like this.
Bullshit. Guess what?
No, you're promoting bullshit.
You're a shill.
You're a shill.
If you're sitting here talking about giants are real based on the Bible, you're a fucking shill.
No, I'm not saying they're real.
You're trying to water down the Flat Earth movement, and I'm not gonna let you.
Oh, good. Well, then you just stop me there, Curtis.
First of all,
you just stop me for sharing my opinion.
Then on top of that, you did that shitty ass documentary Behind the Curve that makes us look even more crazy.
Oh, yeah, and I was the one that did all the editing to make us look bad. Is that right, Curtis? Is that your contention?
Yes,
well, you're an idiot. You're a fucking idiot, okay?
You're a fucking idiot, and you're a shill. And you know you are. You've been
Oh, cry about it, Curtis. Come on.
You think I won't call you out? I am.
Call me out. I'm saying you're full of shit.
And that's why you tried to suppress me in your chat.
So yeah, Flat Earthers. They're annoyed that Bob proved the rotation of the Earth. So they declare him a shill, or say that he didn't say the things he did, and it was deceptive editing. Well, that wasn't the only thing the Behind the Curve documentary showed. Just to back up that Bob didn't get the results he wanted, this conversation happened.
At a conference in Raleigh, we want to have proof there's no curvature. And if we can do that, it's game over. But the rotation is not looking good at this point. We don't want to blow this, you know?
Right.
And we got $20,000 in this freaking gyro. But yeah, if we dumped what we found right now, we would be, it'd be bad. Yeah, if we dumped what we found right now, we would be, it'd be bad. It would be bad. So what I just told you is confidential.
Okay, I won't say it.
But how could Bob still think that he was right? That even though the gyro registered a drift, he was still right? Well, this was his explanation.
We obviously were not willing to accept that, and so we started looking for ways to disprove that it was actually registering the motion of the Earth, and that it in fact was registering the motion of the sky. So the next thing that we set out to do was to encase the fiber optic gyro in what's called a zero Gauss chamber to see if we could actually shield the energies being generated by the heaven.
Heaven energies. Did you actually say heaven energies? You tried to block out the heavenly energies, whatever the fuck they are. Well, how did that go for you?
And we were unsuccessful with that, unfortunately.
So thanks, Bob. Thanks so much for proving the Earth rotates. It's really helpful in my debates. But you don't understand what you measure, do you? Do you even understand a fibre optic gyroscope? Now, with all this evidence of Bob's based around the fibre optic gyro, you would think he understood the function of one, right? Wrong. No, not really. No, let's have a look at him playing with his toy.
So this
from the moon.
Yeah, that's the way. So this thing actually is mounted to the frame of the aircraft. Okay, so when you mount it on the aircraft, and say my front of my hand is the
Front of the plane.
front of the plane. All right, and you can see this thing right here, which what it is an attitude or an artificial horizon. That's what it's called.
And Bob is right. They do use them on planes for the artificial horizon because they are extremely accurate. Like really, really accurate.
Okay, and down here you have the very, very fine roll, pitch, and yaw. And you can see they're all moving, right? It's just sitting here, but they're all moving.
Yep, they're all moving as a gyroscope maintains its fixed position relative to the distant stars of the universe, which means it will register the movement of whatever it's on. In this case, your desk, which is on your house's floor, which is on the Earth, which is rotating about its axis. And that's why it's showing movement.
Now, what everybody is most interested in is they're saying, well, you know, that 15 degree per hour rotation is picking up the roll. But the interesting thing about what's going on here is you have movement on on all the roll, pitch, and yaw axes. And it's essentially doing this.
Bob, you just made the movement of something on a sphere. You do realise that, right? Well, here's Wolfie6020 to explain. He had a gyro that he uses on drones, and he sticks it on a globe to see what movement you would expect.
So just to help you visualise that on a globe, when we put the gyroscope in North America in a level attitude, as it would be level sitting on a desk, you can see that it is not polar aligned. And if I rotate that globe, we're going to register movement in all three axes. There you can see the drone is rolling, pitching and yawing simultaneously. As I rotate the globe. So just to emphasize the point, the motion that is being registered is roll, pitch and yaw simultaneously. Have a look at the indication of the movement of that drone.
So, as Bob nicely explained, the gyro is measuring the pattern of movement you would expect on a globe.
So, and what it's picking up, and the reason, you know, this is one of the reasons that I know it's ether, because if it was just Earth rotation, it wouldn't be necessarily acting like this. What's happening is it's picking up a vortex. Imagine a vortex like this that's spinning in above it.
Yeah.
Okay, on multiple axes. This is exactly what that's registering.
A vortex. So we've just moved to magic now, huh? Is this the heaven energies that you're on about, Bob? I mean, you're basically just making shit up at this point.
But on the course method, if I'm on an airplane and just say this is the airplane, let me reset this. If I nose down, right? So now I'm nosing down, and you can see it's dropping below the horizon.
Yep.
And if I pull back, it's going up. And now if I bank to the left,
boom,
it banks to the left, bank to the right, and then this white dot is the yaw.
Yeah,
Okay.
I got you the angle that you're trying.
So
direction.
there's yaw, there's pitch, and there's roll.
Okay.
So Bob just perfectly explained the function of the gyro there. Now, he understands it, how it works, sees it register a drift, but does that lead to the most obvious conclusion of the Earth is rotating? Let's find out.
There's the three axes. And like I said, it's just sitting there right now doing nothing. And if I zero it out, you can see it start. And these are the values that it's picking up. So it's not that it's picking up motion, because I can set up my mechanical gyro and it doesn't drift at all.
Nothing.
I think it's important to realise that a mechanical gyroscope has friction to deal with. However, you can use a mechanical gyro compass to find true north and show the rotation of the Earth. Just check the link here.
Yeah.
But there is this ether, this luminiferous ether that is in the form of a toroid that is rotating down constantly, and this is registering it.
Yeah.
It's that sensitive.
And we know electromagnetic forces can move light. Just look at a Ferrel cell.
Yeah.
Like, so this is not theory. The only theory is that the Earth's move, and we have no natural observed phenomenon of Earth rotation.
So, Bob says it's aether, which was of course disproved by Michelson Morley and Airy's failure. And then in comes Nathan Thompson. Check the link there for his episode of Flerfs Are Idiots. And then spouts a load of big words he heard once that bear no relevance to a fibre optic gyro.
It's just postulated that this could be proving Earth rotation. But if it was proving rotation of the Earth, wouldn't it have to also calculate around the sun movement? If it's...
Oi, Nathan, you've had your episode. Leave some of the stupid for Bob. You want to measure the data of it going around the sun. Well, that's one rotation a year, which is 1/365th of a degree drift per day, or 1/8760th of a degree drift per hour.
Well, that's the thing. People want to accept this based on the Sagnac effect that it uses.
Yeah.
But then they will reject the Michelson-Morley experiment, which instead of using an angular or a circular type of light phase detection, it uses a linear.
Yeah,
right?
like LIGOs.
Exactly. And so and that's one thing. LIGO operates. In fact, the LIGO apparatus and the Michelson Morley apparatus are virtually identical.
Just 2.5 miles long.
Yeah.
Michelson-Morley experiment.
Yeah, Michelson-Morley was...
Well, as I've said, the Michelson-Morley experiment proved the aether wasn't a thing. And so did the Sagnac effect, which I'm guessing you don't understand at all. Go to the remedial classroom to have it explained. Okay, idiots and morons, time to shut up and pretend you're learning. I'm going to explain... What is it, Mr. Riley? You can't find your triangle calculator. I really don't care. Now, I'm going to explain... What is it, Mr. Truth? You Miss Steer. Well, trust me, she didn't know who you were. Now, we're going to learn how a fibre optic gyro works. So a fibre optic gyro has a coil of fibre, and when you input light, half the light goes clockwise and half goes anti-clockwise. If the gyro isn't moving, you're fine. But if the gyro rotates, one path the light travels along becomes shorter, and when the light recombines, you register an interference pattern. It's simple and conclusively proves the Earth spins. Now go away and leave me alone. Now, Bob hasn't only handily proved rotation.
A 15-degree-per-hour drift.
Yeah, thanks, Bob. He's also admitted that gravity is real. In fact, he had a nice argument with Jism about it. Check out the video by Team Skeptic for that. It's really funny. But let's listen to Bob admit gravity is real.
But there is still something that is determining up from down. Okay? So I have talked about this many times about this being electrostatic force and that gravity is actually an electrostatic phenomenon.
So he thinks gravity is real, but it's electrostatic. Well, the main problem with that is that electrostatic is a repulsive and an attractive force. Gravity is only an attractive force. And also, this is an electrostatic voltmeter. It disagrees with your assumption.
But the biggest thing that I want to say about this is this particular person, who talks about, the density and buoyancy and says that gravity is not a force. I'm sorry, but I have to disagree with that. And here's why.
He's talking about Sleeping Warrior. So, Mr. Dumbfuck of the Year, even your old buddy Bob thinks that me and George Musser are correct and gravity is a force.
And I'm certainly not saying that gravity, first of all, is what they're claiming it to be, either Einsteinian or Newtonian. I certainly do not believe for 1 second that two masses, irrelevant of whatever they are, will have an attraction to each other any more than I think that a large massive object will bend space-time so that things fall into it.
Well, the Cavendish experiment and the Shishelian experiment disagree with you. Mass most certainly attracts mass.
This force is absolutely real. Now, this force is absolutely real. Now, this force is absolutely real. Now,
and with that revelation, I've taken all the stupid I can for today. But before I go, I want to say a massive thank you to all my patrons. Your support allows me time to focus on my channel and do what's important, bringing you great content and fighting the flat earth. I want to say an extra massive thank you to my $200 patrons, Christopher Kane and Jeffrey Sloan. If you'd like to join and become part of the FTFE team, go to patreon.com/FTFE. And thank you. Thanks for watching, guys. I'm on holiday for the next 10 days for a well-needed break with my wife and 2 kids, so there won't be any live streams for a couple of weeks, but look out for plenty of live streams from Team Skeptic. I've got a couple of videos pre-made and will premiere whilst I'm away, and I'll do my best to pop in and say hi. If you've enjoyed this video, please leave a thumbs up, subscribe if you're not already, and hit the notification bell so you never miss anything from FTFE. And remember, stupidity is not a right. Fight the flat earth.